Alrighty, welcome back to another video. I didn't really want to do a hero breakdown video kind of thing, but seeing that there are so many new heroes that are out here basically like in this whole week. Yeah, I think the portal just came out. Like this one is the Untold Tales summons is a new portal that came out. And then you had the challenge event where Rothbart was finally out. And then you have the Harvest Summon as well. So that's quite a few new heroes that are coming out in this portal. So I wanted to do all of the portals together because I didn't really want to make separate videos about it. So I'm gonna start from the top, the Harvest Summon. So this is a brand new summon portal that came out this month, and it features a new sort of like a new mechanic, in a sense that when you summon for when you spend gems to summon for any of these heroes here, each summon gives you a chance to get up to 10 more heroes as a bonus summon. And I'm sure you've seen all over YouTube that there are quite a few people who have been doing summons, including I think with someone doing a 30 summon and getting almost 50 heroes out of that 30 summons, which is crazy. That shows you like the number of bonus summons you can get per summon that you're doing. But the highlight here is, of course, the two new heroes. Now these are usually this kind of summon portal foreshadows the next coming challenge events, or it's either challenge events or any special events quests. So what you're gonna see is like the last time when they came up with the Astral Elves, it became an event quest. And then usually like this kind of cases, I think for this Fox family, considering it's in this state, it might be an event quest instead of a challenge event. It's similar to the Astral Elves bonus in a sense that it doesn't apply to 1, 2, or 3 heroes. Now, let's start from White Fang. 5-star Ice Ranger. So a Fox family bonus is Fox hero summons a Sly Fox minion with 2% health and 100% attack, but has an 80% chance to dodge incoming attacks. And whenever they dodge, they steal the latest dispellable buff from the attacker and gives it to its owner. So kind of similar to like Fungustine in the sense that when you attack into Fungustine, Fungustine has this like kind of like buff of passive from the special skill that allows her to steal either the growth attribute or any buffs that is on the attacker. So something similar to that, except this one is at the start of the round, and it's a minion, which at 2% health, obviously 80% chance to dodge is crazy. Now note that this 80% chance to dodge incoming attacks applies also to basic attacks. So that means any tile damage, or if White Fang is on defense, then any tile damage is also considered a chance to dodge. And if you're using her on offense, then any basic slash attack from the defense counts as a dodge to incoming attacks. So that's basically how the Fox family function works. And then there's also the decreased healing passive. All enemies get negative 50% healing, which can be good considering that the current meta is all about healing tanks. So Nautica, Grimsteel, Costume Diao-chan, Costume Hathor, all this provide all sorts of healing and strong attributes and buffs to the defense. So at least with this hero being on offense, going against those kind of defenses, you get a negative 50% healing onto all enemies, which means they heal for much less. Now the special skill, Never Ending Winter, fast speed, dispels buffs from the target, deals 550% damage to the target. The target receives lasting 300 frost damage per turn. This effect spreads to nearby enemies. Additional info, this effect lasts until it is cleansed or removed. So this is a new mechanic, lasting, we call it, I guess, lasting ailments, in a sense that usually you'll get ailments that span for a certain number of turns. For example, bleed damage over turn, any dot damage over turn, we call it damage over turn. This one is basically lasting, in a sense that you really need a cleanser or something that removes ailments, something like dance, or either dance or basically ghost form. Yeah, that's one of the ways that you can use to get rid of the lasting frost damage. White Fang is really strong, in a sense that obviously the stats itself are updated. I mean, 1500 sword and 1500 shield is crazy. And then also the snipe. Now, the current meta of things, when you have legendary troops, as long as you have the matching class as well, it makes it so that 550% snipe damage isn't that much, but it's enough to cripple a unit, but allows the lasting frost damage to spread. So once it starts spreading, that's when, lasting frost damage becomes way more powerful than, say, bleed damage spreading from like Daroga, or poison from rain, the poison spread from rain, or the burn damage from D'Artagnan. Lasting frost means you don't have to worry too much about any continuity, like if you want to do something funny like having those kind of like bleed damages, you need to refresh the ailments in order for them to continue to spread. You don't have to do that with White Fang, just because it's lasting. So really, really strong, and I think a lot of people are basically aiming for White Fang. I can see him being used in like a strong stack against Diao Chan, because every turn she's just going to take 300 damage, and in those kind of costume Diao Chan tank defense, there's usually not a cleanser. I mean, right now there are not that many strong cleansers that are usable on defense. I think probably Megiri or Tan Sang Sang, maybe. That's about it. I don't think I know any others that cleanses apart from Rush Wars. I think Rush Wars has one or two more, but that's basically it. So White Fang is really strong. The next one, Rust, 5-star red paladin. So same Fox family bonus, and the decreased healing passive as well. Now this one is Cover Slam, a slow speed special skill. Deals 535% damage to the target and nearby enemies. The target receives lasting 210 bleed damage per turn. Now note that it's only the target and not the nearby enemies. Gives cover to an ally with the lowest health for 5 turns. This effect can't be dispelled. While in cover, the ally takes no damage from special attacks or normal attacks. The covering character takes 50% of the damage dealt to the ally. And the caster regenerates 1750 HP over 5 turns, which is basically about 350 damage. 350 HP per turn of heal, which is actually quite strong. So now I did a 30 pull in this portal on a whim, and I did manage to get Russ, and I think Russ is like really good on certain Rush War setups. Now if you're using Prince Siegfried as a flank for Rush War defenses, then obviously Russ isn't so good of a hero that you can use with Siegfried. But if you're using say for example you have Bernadette as a tank or Grimsteel as a tank, and you put Russ at like either the wing or the flank, and let's say for example you hit Russ charges, but your tank doesn't die. So what's going to happen is, if Russ fires, your tank is going to get the cover. Your tank is going to get this cover buff. Your tank will not die, and Russ will be taking the damage on behalf of the tank. And because it's undispellable, you can't exactly dispel whatever it is on the tank. So you can't kill the tank. You would have to kill Russ first before you kill the tank. And Russ, 2700 HP together with a heal generation that's like pretty crazy itself. By the time you want to kill Russ, if you're, let's say for example, if Russ is covering, say for example, Grimsteel, in Rush it's so debilitating because Grimsteel can charge super fast, as well as the giving himself, if he fires, he heals like hell, and then he also has the mana generation buff as well, which means he's going to charge faster the next turn. And then Russ is just going to become unkillable after that. So I can see Russ being strong, very, very strong on defense, especially in Rush Wars. Not so much on regular war, just because, he's slow. But if you pair it correctly, if say, for example, you use Costume Diao Chan as your tank, you have Costume Hathor as your flank, and then you have Russ on wing, and you have another mana booster, say, you could have like Dolores, yes, Dolores as a wing. So Dolores is the secret, the yellow secret hero that gives mana generation, as well as whenever a hero casts their special skill, she hits 3 and applies insanity. Now, if you have Dolores to fire, and then you have Costume Hathor firing, and then you have Costume Diao Chan just protecting, imagine if you're almost that close to killing Costume Diao Chan, and then Russ fires. Now your Costume Diao Chan is unkillable because Russ is having the cover for 5 turns. Can you imagine? 5 turns of cover is crazy. And if you're trying to kill Russ, yeah, good luck killing him with all the buffs going on. So I think Russ has definitely strong potential. Also, 535% damage to the target and nearby enemies is crazy. So what I did was I did max Russ right now, and I'm trying him out in a team. I might use this for war that's coming soon, and that's going to be crazy. I'm trying him in a team right now, and this is what I've discussed and came up with. Now, obviously, I don't have the matching legendary troop for Russ, but that would make him. That still makes him quite a strong hero here. I think once I get the matching troop for this guy is going to be crazy good. I mean, right now I have him at 23 and not 25, so just give it some time. He's going to get there, and he's going to be a pain in the ass, especially for my Rush War defense as well. So there's that, and yeah, that's going to make it super annoying to like deal with. I might consider putting him in Rush War. I don't know. Depends on if I really not too concerned about the matching troop, then sure, why not? So yeah, that's basically the 2 new heroes for the Harvest Summons. And now bear in mind, the Harvest Summons allows you to basically get all the heroes that are available in the game right now, except for Season 1 heroes. You also get the costume as well. If any one of these non-Season 1 heroes have a costume, you also get it. And I remember when Harvest Summons came out, it was so new to the point where even the latest heroes were in here. And I think at that point the latest heroes were someone like Alva and I think Xander as well. If I'm not mistaken, was his name Xander? Yeah, I think his name was Xander. And then as well as I can't remember the name, but I think Xander and Alva were like the newest ones, and they were included in this portal. And Mooncure as well, because Mooncure was the latest Astral Elf that came out, and you can even get Mooncure on this portal as well, which is crazy. So a lot of good options here, but at the same time the pool is quite diluted. So a 2.3% chance to get a legendary hero, a non-featured legendary hero, it's basically 2.3% divided by quite a number of 5 stars. So if you're trying to aim for any one of the non-featured heroes, you'll probably not get it, just based on how dilute the 5-star pool is in here right now. So pool with caution is all I'm going to say, and please don't overspend with this kind of summon portal as well, especially if you're new to the game. Like, let's say you're new to the game, sure, you can drop some gems here, and you'll be happy with whatever 5-star that comes out here, because it's basically non-season 1. But if you're, say, cheap to play or a dolphin, then this portal, you're only here for the featured heroes. You're not really here to look at any other heroes that are available here. And if you're a whale, well, once you get, you're basically just only solely pulling for White Fang or Rust, and nothing else. I think the rest of these are probably just feeders for any whales that are around. So do as you may, just don't overspend when it comes to this. All right, the next one, we're just going to look at costume Thalassa for a bit. Now, obviously, this Untold Tales summons, they accelerated the production of costumes just because I think power creep was just so strong with the Astral Elves, the new Goblin, and Garrison Guard heroes, as well as basically the toons as well. So they accelerated the costume productions for all the Untold Tales heroes. Now, obviously, not all of them have costumes yet, but every month we get a new costume. So this month's one is Thalassa. Now, all the costumes for Untold Tales, as far as I know, the costumes have a weaker first charge skill, but the second charge onwards, their skill is much better than the regular side. So, like for example, this one. So the original version boosts health a bit more on the first charge, and then the second charge is just a slightly upgraded version of the first charge. But for the costume one, the first charge will be weaker than the original first charge. You see here it's 500 instead of 550, but the second charge is where it gets insane. Boosts health of all allies by 800, and the status ailments immunity is for 4 turns instead of 3, which is crazy. And of course you get the padded stats as well. So I think if you had focused your time into getting a lot of these Untold Tales heroes, like for example, I think the ones that are more common are like Gellert and Gestalt. Yeah, so now Gestalt has a costume which I really want, just because I have Gestalt, and I think the costume makes him really, really strong, especially second charge onwards. Yeah, freaking crazy. Yeah, so Gestalt this one, and then I think they were supposed to come out with the costume for Persa, but just not yet. But soon, when it comes out, I think Persa will feature a bit more in certain defenses. And then there's Costume Forces, which I think is the one that a lot of people liked. Although I think the original costume might be better, just because the monk class is definitely much better than the Paladin class. So some people are still defaulting back to the regular side because it doesn't really matter. I mean the difference for forces for the costume is not really that much. I do think it's the taunt is 4 turns, and that's about it. Like the minions, I think not too significant. So yeah. So that's basically it for this Untold Tales summons. Now the next one, the last one here, Von, Rothbart, and Arman Moncharmin. These are the 2 new heroes for the I don't know what family this is, I kind of forgot. The Opera family? Yeah. So Opera family. Von Rothbart is crazy. I mean, 5-star purple. They do have this, so he can't take defense elements except for elemental defense down, and damage increase. And then you have a heal when status ailment expires or is cleared. So every time he gets a status ailment that expires, cleansed, removed, or reallocated, they gain 10% health per turn, which is crazy. Opera family bonus, not too significant. I mean, bonus, you don't usually see that many Opera heroes on the same defense. Usually maybe like Von Rothbart and then like Odell, and then if you can put like say Fermin on the wings or Christine on the wings, then sure, that's something to consider. Everybody's gonna get 15% attack, defense, and HP, which actually adds up. But his special skill here is crazy. So Ballad of Pain, average mana speed, Deals 550% damage to the target. The target dances to Ballad of Pain for 4 turns. The dance spreads to nearby enemies, so similar to status ailment spreading. Ballad of Pain. The dancer gets silenced. When the dance ends, the dancer suffers 1700 damage. This one is just the dance. So one thing I wanted to know is if you change the dance, say for example you use Rothbart on one of your heroes and you have Costume Gazelle going into, you have Guardian Gazelle going against Von Rothbuff. If you have Gazelle change the dance onto your hero that gets hit by Rothbart, will he suffer the 1700 damage, or is it something similar to how they're fixed, or fixed, nerf, balanced? I don't know, either one of those words. If they've done the same changes to Pepper Flame, Profit, those kind of effects where overlapping a status ailment with a new buff or replacing it doesn't trigger the secondary effect. So I'm not sure if this does the same thing. Do let me know in the comments if you have tested it out. I personally have not seen really this kind of effect. So it'll be interesting because you can use this to basically counter quite a few heroes. Like in Rush, I think he'll shine a lot in Rush if you're going against something like Prince Siegfried, for example. You could silence Prince Siegfried and then remove his buffs, and then you can easily kill Siegfried first before you kill the rest of the defense. And if you're targeting the tank, for example, say it's a Bernadette tank or a Grimsteel tank, you can hit Rothbart on it, and if Siegfried tries to remove the buff, they take 1700 damage, which means they'll most likely die as well. So Rothbart is quite good here. The only gripe that I have is that because this Ballad of Pain is a silence effect, it doesn't go through clerics. Like, there is a chance a cleric will negate this effect, will withstand this effect. So if you're trying to use Von of Buff against, say for example, Costume Diao Chan, there is a 35% chance that it's not working, that it's not going to work. So that's obviously a pain, especially if you think that you want to use Von of Buff as a counter to Costume Diao Chan. I think that's not really surefire counter, which is a big problem as well. But overall, I think Von of Buff is really, really good. And so finally, let's look at the last one. Arman Moncharmin, 5-star green ranger. This time he's immune to attack ailments. So no Erlang Shen to annoy against this guy. Make them harmless. Average speed. Deals 300 damage to all enemies. Summons a bodyguard mega minion with 50% HP. Oh, there's quite a bit of HP there. And 250% attack inherited from the caster. The target hit by the bodyguard minion falls asleep and receives plus 60% increased damage while sleeping. And you can only wake up sleeping characters by slash attack or special skills. So damage from minions and fiends are excluded, which is really, really strong. And this effect is uncleansable, which is crazy, by the way. So some people are thinking that this will be the best way to go against a Titan. Now, not necessarily Mythic Titan, because you don't want the Mythic Titan to spend a turn. So, but people have been, I do believe people have been trying to test Arman against regular Titans, which I'm not too convinced. If you have to wait to kind of let the minion hit the Titan for him to fall asleep every turn, you're wasting a couple of seconds there. I'm not sure whether the damage makes up for it. Who knows, maybe I'm wrong. But in war, now this guy is going to be interesting. Now you can put him in defense, and any minion, any hero that the minion hits basically is rendered immobile until someone hits him, which is crazy because you can just like, can you imagine if you run something like Arman here, and then Arman fires, the mega minion hits your healer, for example. Now you can't heal because your healer is asleep, and the next hit onto her, if it's a special skill, it's most likely going to kill her. So, him or her, I mean, as the healer. So, Arman is pretty interesting. Very, very interesting mechanic. They've been trying to bring up this asleep mechanic for quite some time now. We've seen it initially in Balbar, which is, well, nobody uses a semi-useless hero of the month. But then they started doing something interesting, like with Teddy and with the blue, for some reason I can't remember the name, the blue garrison guard hero as well, and it didn't really take off. I don't think I've seen much players use that for offense. I think if I have them, I would definitely use them, because I mean, Teddy was interesting, and even the blue garrison guard one was actually interesting, because you imagine if you run an offense team with a lot of mega minions, the mega minions are just going to hit into them and they are not going to be able to do anything because they're just asleep, and you're not waking them up, because minions do not affect sleep, the asleep buff, the debuff. So that's crazy. So I think a lot of people are aiming for these two heroes, because they are, first of all, the latest, the latest in terms of stats, in terms of heroes. The power creep is there for sure, but also because they give quite a unique ability as well, which opens up team building, you know, the theory crafting behind offense teams, to have a little bit of change, to have a little bit of new dynamics putting into it. So like you could run Arman and then have like Arman, Shimmer Scale. What I can think of, I think no, Shimmer Scale is not really good, because the bleed, I think the bleed will force him to wake up, which is crazy, because if you imagine, if you have like bleed, will the bleed, I think the bleed increases, right? 60% increased damage. That's interesting as well. I don't know, maybe someone can try it. I don't have this hero, so can't really test it out. But that's basically it. 5 new heroes in 1 week. It's pretty crazy, but definitely those are some really, really strong heroes. All I can say is good luck, and please be mindful of your expenditure. Don't spend too much. Good luck in your pools. Congratulations if you have gotten any one of them, and I'll catch you in the next video. GG.